We've reached the final episode of Anand Sahib, verse 40. And here, there's only one question that you should be asking yourself. Why should I follow any of this wisdom? And to this, in this verse, the Guru helps us by understanding what opportunity is being made available to you. And the way the Guru does this is by showing those people who've reached this state, this bliss, this Anand, those people who live this wisdom, their mental state is being described to us in verse 40. In this final verse, the Guru says, "Listen, O fortunate ones, with this blissful vibration, all obsessions end. The Supreme King Brahm is obtained, and all concerns are removed. Hearing the eternal message, sorrows, disease, and agonies are removed. The saintly companions have known this from the perfect Guru. They are filled with the sublime flavor. Those who hear it are pure, and who speak it are pure. The true Guru becomes manifest. Praise Nanak, embracing the Guru's feet, unstruck trumpets resound." What the Guru is doing in this very final verse is Guru is showing us the highest potential, the highest purpose of mankind. What is the best mindset that is possible for a human being to achieve? What is the peak of the human potential? And the Guru starts by showing us, "Anand sunhu vadbhaageeho, sagal manorath pooray." Listen, O fortunate ones. With this blissful vibration, all obsessions end. Guru starts this verse by saying, listen up. Really hear this wisdom, because it has the power to totally transform your life. And Guru uses this word vadbhaageeho. O fortunate ones, recognize the gift of this wisdom that is being presented to you, because not everyone has the blessing to be able to understand this, to receive this wisdom. And what's really interesting and fascinating about this final verse is that the Guru uses many words that haven't been seen elsewhere in Anand Sahib. I almost see it as the Guru making one final attempt to help our minds understand, to help us learn in any way. The Guru is allowing us to learn this wisdom. The Guru is teaching us in any last way that our mind may be able to really understand and clarify what the meaning is of this amazing Anand Sahib composition that we've been listening to. So the Guru starts by saying, listen up. So what do we listen to? The word Anand has been used, and most people will say that that's the same as Anand. But it is a different spelling, and it's very important for us to understand what is it that the Guru is expecting us to listen to. The Guru says, Anand suno, listen to Anand. And while we can translate it as Anand, and that's a perfectly valid translation, which is bliss, another translation is Anhad, which is the silent vibration of the universe. So the Guru is saying, Anand suno, listen to the Anhad, the unstruck sound, the primal vibration, the very core of existence, the subtle essence of the universe, what we've heard at the beginning of Anand Sahib being referred to as the Panch Shabad, the conscious word, the divine understanding. Go into your own home. Remember that the last verse was talking about sing this wisdom in your true home. So when you go to the core of who you are, into your true home, what is it that you remember? You remember that you're part of that oneness. You remember that awareness, that my awareness is the awareness of oneness. My body is the body of the oneness. My thoughts are the thoughts of the oneness. Everything is this life force, nothing is me. When you go there to that part of who you are, then you are free. Free from your manorath. The word manorath means the constant chasing of the mind. This obsessive mindset that we have all the time, always chasing bliss, always running after the next obsession, all of that chasing will end. Guru says, listen, O fortunate ones, with this blissful vibration, all obsessions will end. All your ambitions and hopes are completely useless, the Guru is saying, if you're still chasing bliss. And this is what the whole world is doing. This is what everyone is doing. Everyone in society is encouraging you to have lots of hopes and dreams and desires. And that's great for transforming the world and making the world a better place. But the Guru is saying, don't forget your current mental state. Don't just constantly be hoping for a better tomorrow and ignoring the bliss that is available to you now. And this is what everyone is doing. Everyone is telling you to chase and want and desire more. And the Guru is saying you have a chance to end this mental turmoil that you've always been in. And the way you do that is by not focusing on the future, by not constantly seeking, not going into this obsessive chasing mindset. The manorath Guru uses this word. But by listening, sunhu, listen to the present moment. Listen to the vibration that is happening right now at this moment. And when you do that, all your suffering departs. And that happens when we've really taken on the Guru's wisdom, when we've heard what the Guru has to say, and we've brought it into our minds. We've really allowed that wisdom to sink deep into the core of who we are. And the Guru wants us to ask this fundamental question: are you listening to the God of this moment? Because usually our minds are stuck. We're usually just stuck listening to whatever is happening to our mind, and our mind is always in the future, always thinking about how do we solve the next problem, how do we make something feel better. We're always listening to the noise of the mind, and the Guru is saying God is happening right now. That is what this anhad is. The Guru is saying listen. And I usually try to avoid using this word God, but it's the most appropriate one, and this is where the Guru introduces this word back to our vocabulary. Guru has used throughout Anand Sahib the word Hari, this flourishing one. But now Guru comes back and says, make no mistakes, what I'm talking about is the God that you've heard about. If you listen, God is happening right now. And in the next line, the Guru says, parabarahm parabh paa-i-aa, utray sagal visooray. The Supreme King, Brahm, is obtained and all concerns are removed. Guru uses this word Brahm, which hasn't been used elsewhere in Anand Sahib. What is Brahm? Brahm is the oldest word for the divine in all Indian mysticism, in all ancient Indian spiritual knowledge. The word Brahm means the absolute ultimate, the supreme, the divine. It's not talking about something new. It's still talking about that universal essence of oneness, that core of all existence, that parabarahm, that absolutely supreme being that you can't go beyond. Once you reach Brahm, there is nothing more. Brahm is the ultimate, the ultimate oneness that you've been searching for. That is what you will obtain. And when you obtain it, utray sagal visooray, all concerns are removed. All your concerns will leave you. When you focus your awareness on this present moment, this Brahm that is happening right now, when you experience this moment as oneness, not as an individual. Think about that. Can you experience this moment as Brahm, as God, as the divine, not as yourself? How transformative is that going to be in your life? It's the difference between watching a movie and being in the movie. And most of us are living our life as though we're in the movie. That's our usual experience of life, as though we're a character that's dealing with all of the challenges that are happening to that character. But if you treat this as a drama, if you treat this world, including yourself and everything that happens in your life, as a play that is happening, you can learn to sit back and enjoy it. You can learn to enjoy this as a movie that is going on. One of the things I like to do in the morning when I wake up is I remind myself that this is a day for me to enjoy. And I ask myself, I wonder what is going to happen in today's episode. What is today's episode of life going to bring me? You know how when you're watching a drama, even tragedy, even if there is chaos, even if there is violence happening in there, as the audience member, we're enjoying all of that. We're enjoying watching the difficulties that are unfolding in front of us. The Guru is saying that's how we need to live our life. Enjoy the drama of the day. So ask yourself this question: I wonder what's going to happen today. And even during the day, there are going to be things that are happening and people are going to disagree with you, and things are going to happen that you didn't expect. But when you're watching a movie, you're doing it without really caring about what the end goal is. You're doing it no matter what happens in the movie, you're there to enjoy yourself. So can you live life in the same way by removing your personal expectations of what's going to happen in the day? By enjoying the movie however it unfolds, enjoying your day no matter what happens. And when you start to live like this, the Guru says all your worries will go away. In the next line, the Guru says, dookh, rog, santaap, utray, sunee, sachee, banee. Hearing the eternal message, sorrows, disease, and agonies are removed. Now, this is the real core of what the Guru's wisdom is. There are so many people all around the world that are totally confused about what the message of Guru Granth Sahib, of Guru Nanak really is. Guru Nanak's wisdom has nothing to do with any particular religious practice or duties or showing your loyalty to a particular god or to a particular community. It's not about what you do or any rituals. The Guru is really interested in your mental suffering. And the Guru says, if you listen to the wisdom, your mental suffering is removed. The Guru is the ticket out of hell. The Guru is the golden ticket that gets you out of your suffering. Guru uses this word rog, disease is removed. Now, what disease is the Guru talking about? Of course, we know now that the Guru is not talking about physical diseases. It's not talking about infections. It's not talking about anything that goes wrong with your body. The Guru is talking about the disease that exists within your mind. In verse 19, we heard what this disease was. Eh tisna vada rog laga. Desire is their greatest infection. So what is the greatest disease that the Guru says I can remove from you? It's the disease of desire, of wanting a particular outcome to life. Wanting your life, your day, or even this moment to be slightly different. You may have heard me use this example before, but think about at any moment in your life, if you don't feel satisfied, it's because there is a small part of your mind that's always thinking, I wish even this moment was slightly better. I wish I was having this more or that. At any point in your life when you're thinking, how do I make this slightly better? That's what your mind is always trying to calculate, trying to get something better out of life. And notice that even if that new thing happens, your mind will then figure out what the next thing is. And by doing that, by always wanting the next pleasure, what you become used to doing is not being satisfied in this moment. And that's what the Guru is saying is our biggest desire. The Guru is such an amazing expert of human psychology. And that's what Guru Granth Sahib really is a psyche, is a wisdom, is an understanding about the human mind and the human experience in such a sophisticated way that we don't see in the common world. We don't see the world training us how to think. And the Guru is really telling us about our suffering. And the Guru is saying suffering is expecting life to be different in this moment. Let me say that again because it's so important. It's the crux of the whole wisdom that the Guru is saying, that if you want bliss in your life, listen up now. Suffering is expecting life to be different than what it is right now. Any moment where you're expecting this very moment to be different, that is suffering. And that pain can be removed when you listen to the truth of what is happening in this moment. This is what Guru is saying in this word, sunee sachee banee. Listen to the true message, the truth that is happening now. If you listen to that and you accept what is happening in this very moment, and you're not always expecting this moment to be something different. Think about your life. Every moment there's always something that can be improved. There's always a frustration. There's always something that isn't quite resolved. And the Guru is saying that is the habit that we've gotten into. And if you can listen to the truth of this moment, all your pain will be resolved. And remember, nothing is going to change on the outside. The Guru is not offering anything in life to be different. You know, a lot of people who go down this religious path, what they want to do is they want to cling on to some magic man called a guru or a god that they can pray to like a genie, and the genie comes out of the magic lamp and says, "Your wish is my command." And they want God to be some kind of genie that fixes the outside world. And the Guru is never saying that if you follow me, if you follow my wisdom, that I will make your life or your circumstances better. We are always wanting life to be different. But what the Guru allows is not for the external world to be changed, but the internal world. The internal filters begin to be cleaned. So the story of life isn't going to change, but how you view the story of life, that changes. How we interpret this life, that's what the wisdom allows us to do. So worldly challenges are always going to be there. That is something that we cannot take away from. As long as there is a you, then there is a birth and there is a death. As long as there are things that come close to our life and there are things that go away from our life. That is just the nature of how life is. That cannot be changed. You either resist that or you go with the flow. If you go with the flow, you will have a smooth journey. If you try to resist life, always wanting life to be something different, you will suffer. And this is the beautiful thing about the Guru's wisdom. It allows you a way to get out of this suffering. And so when we begin to understand this, we can now start to catch ourselves. We can now start to see when our mind acts in a particular way, how we can then begin to understand the problem isn't on the outside. The problem is how I view the outside. So whenever you catch yourself feeling stressed, feeling upset, feeling like you want things to be different in some way, if you're worried, if you're anxious, realize that once again you've been trapped. These worries, these concerns have trapped our mind. What they do is they trap our minds and they bind us back into this body, back into this story, back into the character within the movie, rather than being able to sit back and just enjoy the movie. So these worries and concerns are actual traps that we need to understand that we've fallen again. How do we realistically do this? Because if we don't solve this puzzle about how do we live this in our day-to-day life, then this just becomes another wisdom, another religion, another set of divine teachings that we like the sound of, but we don't really know how to practice. I know in my own life, I get stressed all the time. I'm dealing with my family situations. I'm stressed at getting my kids ready for school or trying to get them to do something where they're resisting and doing something else. They want to do something and I want them to do something else. This is a normal thing that all parents are going through, all adults are going through in different ways in their life. We're all dealing with our own circumstances. And it's so easy for us to think, well, I'm going through something special. No one's going through something so difficult as me. It's so easy to think in that way. And of course, there are those of us who are really going through some hardships. But that doesn't absolve us from our own responsibility for the way that we respond to life. Remember that I can't change what is happening out there, but my response is my responsibility. The way that you respond to life is something that you can take control of. And we've become so used to having stress in our life. We've become so used to accepting that this is what our life is like. We've normalized worries. In fact, we think that life is worries. We need to have worries in our life in order to function properly. Things can't get done unless we worry about them. And the Guru challenges us to act differently. The Guru challenges us to think about what we consider to be normal. And the Guru wants us to ask, can you live your life being carefree? Can you do your duties but without the worries? And we think about them and we think that sounds too difficult. That doesn't sound realistic. But the more and more we listen to this wisdom, the more that we start to think and challenge ourselves, knowing that the world can't change on the outside, people can't change, circumstances can't change, but we can. We can change now. We can have that transformation. Remember what Guru means, to move from inner darkness into inner light. We have to allow this wisdom to take us out of that mental darkness. Those barriers that we didn't even know we were in darkness until the light came, until the wisdom came and showed us your own thinking is your problem. And the Guru is asking us to question, can you live the same life, the same circumstances, with a different filter, with a different lens, with a different way of approaching life? And the Guru says that is the way out of your pains. Your santaap, Guru uses this word santaap, your agonies. Look at this, the Guru uses dookh, rog, santaap. Guru is talking about 3 different types of worries and pains. Pains, diseases, agonies. And the Guru really uses these words to say all your pains. Guru mentions them 3 times, dookh, rog, santaap, to mean all worries, past, present and future, will be solved. Your fear of dying, your fear of life not turning out the way you expected it to be, all of those problems can go away. So the Guru is really addressing the heart of the human experience. The Guru is showing us that life is full of worries when you don't know how to live it properly, when you don't know how to approach life, because we haven't been taught these things. There is no school that is teaching us how to do these things. The Guru is the school. The Guru is the teacher of the mind. The Guru is the teacher of human experience. And the Guru is saying, this is what religion is about. This is what a Guru really is here to solve, this problem of human suffering. The Guru is here to help us, help all human beings deal with the agonies, deal with our mental stresses. This is what the Guru means by having this inner cleansing. The Guru talked about not just living a life where you look very pure and saintly on the outside, but you don't really understand the wisdom, apply the wisdom on the inside. The Guru talked about all of these things in Anand Sahib. And the Guru is saying that you are here to first solve your inner world. Try and fix your inside world first before you try to solve the world on the outside. And if you don't know how to do it properly, you will be in agony, you will be in pain. So the Guru is the solution to all of these problems. This is the Guru's religion. This is the religion that Guru Nanak brought to the world. This is what the religion of the Sikh tradition is. It's not the external form. It's not about just looking a certain way. It's not about prioritizing saying the right things, knowing how to do the kirtan, knowing how to say the words, pretending that you can do all of the things on the outside when the whole wisdom of Guru Granth Sahib is about your mind. And so we really have to ask ourselves, what are we doing with our religion? The Guru is not interested in what you wear. The Guru is not interested in you saying the right words and speaking the right way that makes you sound religious, makes you sound spiritual. The Guru wants to know, how do you live at each moment? What is your day-to-day experience like? And this is why the wisdom that is contained in Guru Granth Sahib has been called the greatest wisdom. Remember in verse 23, the Guru says, Bani ta gavo Guru keri, banee-aa sir bani. Sing the message of the Guru, the greatest message of all. Now ask yourself, am I truly living this wisdom? If not, what is my religion doing for me? All your religious practices, all your religious clothing, your religious appearance, your religious words, your religious actions, the diet that you follow, the lifestyle and the community that you hang out with, what is that religion doing for you if you haven't solved your day-to-day anxieties, day-to-day worries? What is that religion doing for you when it hasn't fixed your daily issues? We live with this continued sense of struggle at each and every moment. This has become our normal. This has become the norm, but deep down, we know that this doesn't feel right. We know that life doesn't feel right. We feel incomplete. We feel frustrated. We feel trapped. We feel separated from our true home, because we all know, every human being knows, that the true experience that we're all after is bliss. And we feel separate from bliss. That's our true home. Your true home is bliss. And the Guru wants you to come back to your true home of bliss. For every human being, regardless of where you were born and what time you were born and what religion or family or culture or circumstances you were born into, every human being is born out of bliss, because the core of who you are is oneness. And oneness is always in bliss. And the ones who have connected with this divine flavor, with this essence of life, they tune back into that bliss. And the Guru is saying, come back home. Come back to your bliss, because you know deep down life should feel better by now. You know that life should feel better, but we don't know how to do it, how to achieve it. And the Guru is reminding us again and again, your worries, your desires are the cause of this suffering. And there are people who've managed to lift themselves out of the suffering. How do they do it? In the next line, the Guru says, Sant saajan paa-i-aa sarsay, pooray gurte jaanee. The saintly companions have known this from the perfect Guru. They are filled with the sublime flavor. The Guru is the answer to human suffering. Guru Granth Sahib, Guru Nanak, the wisdom that is contained in Gurbani, the Guru's language, is about lifting your suffering, removing that suffering from you. And those who are the friends of the Guru, listen to these words, Sant Sajan, the saintly friends. Friends of who? The friends of the Guru. Those who have befriended the Guru, those who have followed this wisdom are rejoicing. They're celebrating. They are sarsay. They are full of ras. They are full of this beautiful divine flavor, the best flavor of life. Those who've really listened and followed this wisdom are the ones that you should really call saintly, the holy people, the ones that we should bow down to. Why are they holy? Why are they saintly? What does it mean to be a saint? It means someone who has perfected the human experience of life. They've reached the perfection of what a human being is capable of achieving. Those are the ones that we need to bow down to and say, show me too how I can achieve this. Those are the saajan, they are the friends. They've made a close friendship with this wisdom. Now the question we have to ask ourselves is, can you become friends with this wisdom? Can you become friends with life? Can you treat life as though it was your best friend? Can you treat all circumstances that happen to you as though it is something your best friend is doing? Even the difficult things that are happening in your life, can you treat it as though you are a friend of it, not an enemy of it, not a rival of it? Think right back to Guru Nanak's beautiful Mool Mantar, when the Guru said that the divine, the oneness, the true part of you is nirpau and nirvair. It is without fear, but it is without rivalry. Vair means rivalry. Without enemy. The true part of you, that oneness, that stillness, that bliss that every single human being has at the core of who they are, is in zero opposition to life. But our mind is always in opposition. The mind is always in dualities. This is not good, something else is better. Now is not good, tomorrow will be better. Or now is not as good as yesterday was. Always creating dualities, always creating opposites. And as long as you live in a world of opposites, where whatever is happening now could be better, where there is a me and there is a someone else, where there is a good or where there is a bad, where there is a high, there is a low. As long as you live in that roller coaster of experience, as long as you're chasing the highs, you will always go down to the lows. Think about a roller coaster whenever you've been on one of these theme parks. You go high, you know it's going to go down. You go up, you know it's going to go down. That is what the roller coaster of life is, and that's what the mind is doing. Wherever it is, it tries to go somewhere else. It doesn't know how to stay calm. It doesn't know the tranquility, the sahaj, the stillness that it already has. That's what it's looking for, but it's forgotten it. It doesn't know how to find it anymore. So the way you do that is not by creating an enemy out of life, but by creating a friendship with life. That's what it means here, sant, saajan. Become a saajan of life, a friend of life. And can you live in this way? Where all people in life are your friends. Whether you get along with them or not doesn't matter. Whether they agree with you or not doesn't matter. Can you create a friendship with this moment that even though this moment may introduce a person to you that is in opposition to you in some way, that in your mind you don't create a rivalry. In your mind you see the oneness in all. You see it as just the entertainment for today's episode. Today's drama unfolding in a new way. Today's problem. You know, we make a problem out of the smallest things. We're waiting for something to be delivered that we may have ordered online. Has it come today? Has it not come today? I can't believe how poor the delivery is. I can't believe how useless the postman is. We start creating problems out of the smallest problems in life. And the Guru is saying, there you go. There you go, falling back into the trap of what you think is normal. The Guru is saying, that's not a good normal. That's not a healthy place to be. Come back to your true home. Your true home is not in rivalry or in opposition with anyone. So can you live a life where all people are your friends? All circumstances are ones that you befriend? Even the weather, we create an enemy out of the weather. I only want this type of weather. I don't want that type of weather. All circumstances in life, the air that you breathe, can that be your best friend? Can you make a friend out of breath? Can you make a friend out of your body? Can you make a friend out of whatever sensations your body is going through? Can you experience everything as sacred and wonderful? I want you to imagine something. This is a really important thought experiment that I want you to go on with me. Imagine that today is the day that you died. Imagine that you've realized that I am dead. And part of what you go through is you wonder what's happening next. Most of us like to think that we'll go to somewhere nicer, some kind of heaven. And so you realize that you've died. And you're expecting something great to happen. And out of nowhere, a voice comes to you and says, so, did you enjoy heaven? And when you hear that, you don't quite understand. You say, no, I'm waiting for heaven. I've just died. I'm waiting to go to heaven. And the voice comes to you again and says, but did you enjoy heaven? And you don't understand. You think, wait a minute, I haven't come from heaven. I'm waiting to go to heaven. And the voice then explains and says, look at all that I have created. Look at all the sights, all the beauty of nature. Look at all the planets and the stars and the wonder of the earth. And all the sights and the smells. Look at this beautiful body that I gave you. Look at all these wonderful relationships that I gave you. Look at all these tasty foods that I gave you. Do you think I created all of this just for you to hope for another heaven? What were you thinking you were in? And then your mind begins to question, did I just experience heaven and not know that I was in heaven? Did I just live an entire lifetime in the most wonderful way and take everything for granted and look at everything in a negative way when I should have been looking at it as the most positive way? I almost want you to think about reincarnation in that way. Imagine reincarnation is every soul that experiences life and forgot that it was heaven. And every time you forgot that it was heaven, your soul goes back and tries again. And is sent back to say, go back and experience it as heaven this time. And the ones who realize within their lifetime, not after they die, there's no liberation afterwards. The liberation is now, can you experience it now in this life? The souls that realize that this is heaven will be free. They don't have to come back. They just stay in heaven. They just stay connected to that oneness, to that divine. And so this is a mantra that I try to live by, which is, this is heaven. Imagine your mind beginning to train itself to understand that this is the beautiful flavor of life. And those who are friends with this wisdom, with this Guru, they are filled with ras, they are sarsay. Those are the people who've been able to squeeze the juice out of life. They've been able to squeeze it and they've been able to drink it. In Anand Sahib, we heard this word amrit, this beautiful nectar of life that is available to you at this moment. You don't have to go anywhere to take amrit. You have to know that it's already flowing within you. Just change your mindset to looking at the world in a negative way to understanding there is a beautiful flavor that is happening all right now. Those people who are able to listen to life in this way, to hear the melody of what is happening right now, the Guru goes on to say, sunte puneet, kahtay pavit, satgur rahi-aa bharpooray. Those who hear it are pure, and who speak it are pure. The true Guru becomes manifest. Those people who've really listened to this wisdom and allowed it to sink deep within their mind, they've been purified, they've been cleaned, they've been cleansed of this negative thinking. They've been cleansed out of the negativity that I am here to gain as much as I can. Life is about me. They've been cleaned from that way of thinking. They've gotten rid of their selfhood, their I amness has disappeared. And those people truly embody the Guru's wisdom. They are walking, talking examples of the Guru's mindset. The Guru becomes manifest in them. They become the examples of how we can live this life. And those people who live in this way, they live the Guru's words in their thoughts, in their speech, and in their actions. Every part of them is a true representation of what the Guru wants us to live like, what the perfect human being can be, totally connected, totally realized to what it really is. Those are what it means to be manifest, or the Guru becomes manifest. Satgur rahi-aa bharpooray. The true Guru becomes manifest. The wisdom starts to become a lived experience. It starts to become something that you can see in the real world. So the Guru is really saying there's no point mindlessly listening to this wisdom and just mindlessly repeating these words. There are so many people who just think that these are magic words and that by just repeating them again and again, there's some magic that's going to happen. But the Guru is saying, don't mindlessly listen to these words. Can you listen to them mindfully? Can you listen to this wisdom in a real, deeper sense? Listen to this wisdom so deeply that you learn how to listen to life. Listen to the beauty. Listen and hear that this wisdom is happening all around you. The sound of the divine is happening all around you at all moments in time. And the final line of Anand Sahib, the Guru says, Binwant Nanak Gur Charana Lage Vaje Anhad Ture. Praise Nanak, embracing the Guru's feet, unstruck trumpets resound. There is such a beautiful word that is being used in the final line. Every other verse of Anand Sahib has ended with says Nanak. Nanak says, but here it says praise Nanak. Nanak prays this prayer for you. Nanak doesn't just say, Nanak is praying that this wisdom comes true for you. This is the Guru's prayer to you, for you. And it's a humble request from the master to the student that says, please elevate yourself out of suffering. Take suffering and your sorrows away. Fall at this wisdom. Fall at the feet of the Guru. Fall at the feet of this wisdom. Surrender to this wisdom, because this wisdom is not something to impose on you. This wisdom is not there to make your life difficult. This wisdom is there because the pinnacle of human beings have come together and brought this wisdom to mankind and shared it freely with everyone and says, here you go. This is how we've solved this mystery. We've unlocked the riddle of life. We've figured it out. And we have nowhere else to go but to serve you, but to bring this wisdom to you. So when you fall at the feet of this wisdom, it means that you finally realize that I've tried to live my life in my own way. I've tried to find bliss my own way through following my mind And that's gotten me nowhere. And I surrender and I give up. And I give up my mind and I say, my mind is not capable of finding bliss. Give me your wisdom. Give me your mind. My mind is the ego mind, the me thinking, the individualistic mind. You're presenting to me something that is completely unheard of, which is this universal mind, this divine mind, this guru's mindset. When you fall at the feet of this wisdom, it says that trumpets will resound. This royal melody, these royal trumpets, but it is the anhad tur. Vaje anhad ture, this unstruck melody. What that means is that it is a sound that has never been made, or it is a sound that is not just something that we can hear with our human ears. It is the very tune of life itself, the very melody of life starts to play when you fall at the feet of this wisdom. You will begin to listen to the harmony of life's flow. At each and every moment, in all places, these royal trumpets will be sounding. The sounds of the divine king. Remember the analogy of a king in his royal court. And as soon as he walks into his court, the royal trumpets sound. The Guru is saying that that royal sound is happening all the time. It's playing loudly all around us, and only a few divine enlightened masters are able to hear it. And the masters are saying, this is how you hear it. Get out of your own mind. Go into the flow of life. Can you hear it? The sound of life is playing right now. And you're not a victim to life. That's what you need to understand. That is what the sound of life is. That you're not a victim. You're not here to just take everything out of life, to try and gain as much materialism as possible. The Guru is saying, you've tried that, that's failed. That's the failed way of trying to find bliss. But do you know how to listen to the truth? Do you know how to enjoy the sound of life? And this is why this is the unstruck sound. Because this sound is permanently playing. It's always there. It's the same as the word naam. It's the same as the word hukam, the divine name, the conscious shabad, the panch shabad, the flow of life. That is happening right now. And if you take one thing away from the whole of Anand Sahib, it is to ask yourself this question, what am I listening to right now? Is my mind creating an unrealistic expectation? Am I listening to my mind that wants something new? Or can I hear the melody of this moment? I'm so thankful to every single person who's joined me on this journey so far, going through the 40 beautiful verses of Anand Sahib. And I really pray that every single person listening to this has the opportunity to transform their life. I hope that this wisdom can really help every single person, help you experience the bliss of oneness, help you experience a life without suffering, living a life that is worry-free. And it's been such a joy to go on this journey, and I know I've learned so much myself. I know that I've benefited more than possibly anybody else who's listening to this. I've benefited from going through this wisdom myself and trying to understand it for myself. And it's really made me appreciate how relevant the Guru's wisdom is, how important it is, and how incredibly powerful and transformative it is. And the Guru gives us so many different instructions and so many different ways to understand some very few fundamental teachings. There are very few teachings in here, but they've been explained in so many different ways. And in so many ways, the Guru tries to make the wisdom relatable. And so I know that the Guru is having a huge wisdom, a huge transformation in my own life. This wisdom is really helping me in my life. But I've also realized on this journey how easily I forget. And I've caught myself so many times that I look at this wisdom, I try and read it, I try and apply it in my life, but I realize how difficult it is, how easy it is for me to fall back into my own ways, my mental traps and my own boundaries that I set for myself. And so I realize how important it is to listen and interact with this wisdom on a daily basis. On a regular basis, we need to access the Guru's teachings. I'm truly grateful to every single one of you for allowing me to share my wisdom, to share my interpretation of this wisdom, to share my understanding and the things that I've learned from my own life. I hope that all the examples that I've given you about the things that are going wrong in my life and the ways that I've tried to solve some of those problems. Those are the things that I've shared with you in a hope that you can relate to some of those things. And I'm really grateful to every single one of you that has listened to me talk for 40 verses and allowed me to interpret this wisdom. And I genuinely, truly hope that we get another chance to go on another beautiful journey together, and that this wisdom has been helpful to you in you going back to your own true home, in you finding your own bliss. Answer the following questions either by writing them down or discussing them in your groups. Describe a time when you have experienced total bliss. How did you perceive your troubles in that moment of bliss? How can you carry that experience of bliss into each moment of your day? What impact has this Anand Sahib series and the Guru's wisdom had on your life?